A few more questions?
Sure.
Great. So you mentioned in your affidavit that you were good friends with the Hatfields for about 17 years, up until Nelson broke one of your windows. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And so it's true that Nelson breaking the window upset you enough to end that 17-year friendship, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that clown, that kid just broke my back window, and it just, just the rudest thing. I couldn't mend that.
I understand. In your affidavit, speaking of clowns, in your affidavit, you mentioned Nelson by a number of names, including incorrigible, a nuisance, again, a clown, and a real menace. Is it reasonable to say that you were still upset with Nelson and the Hatfields or you are still currently upset with them for Nelson's behavior?
That kid just, he just, was a menace to the neighborhood. He just, fights with kids in the neighborhood. There's just a number of things that I don't like about this kid.
Absolutely. So do you feel that Nelson or the Hatfields have been properly held accountable or ever made to, suffer appropriate consequences for Nelson's behavior?
Well, I don't know. I think Georgia's just completely blind to the fact that her grandchild is a nightmare. And so
So you would like to see Nelson or the Hatfields generally be held accountable for that kind of thing?
I mean, that was a fight that happened at their house. I saw it. I don't know how she might not have seen it happening and tried to stop it. I don't know.
Do you think that the Hatfields should suffer some kind of consequence for a fight like that takes place on their property?
I don't know. I just don't like to see that Nelson kid being a real menace to my neighborhood. This is a nice neighborhood, and that boy comes in here and just, fights, and so, I think he should own up to it.
So given your history with the Hatfields and your ongoing hostility towards Nelson, could you claim to be a fair and unbiased witness in this case?
I don't know. I saw it happening. I saw it happen. So I think I should be here. I witnessed it.
Thank you so much. No further questions.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. I'm not as judge, just as intervening attorney here. Ms. Clark, you testified that you observed the incident. Is that correct?
Yep.
You saw Nelson fall.
I did.
And you're the next door neighbor of the Hatfields, right?
Yes.
Your house is right next door to theirs, in fact, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not across the street.
Nope.
It's not behind their house, is it?
Nope.
Their porch is in the backyard, isn't it?
Yes.
And you testified you were in your living room, correct?
Yes.
Was your living room door open?
Sure.
Was your window open?
Yeah, it was open a little bit so I could hear.
It must have been because you testified you heard a creak, right?
Yes, I did hear that.
And you also testified that, in your opinion, that roughhousing caused the deck to break, right?
I think so.
You don't like Nelson, do you?
I don't.
Do you dislike him so much that you want him to get hurt?
I don't want anything bad to come to him. No.
No, of course not. You didn't want him to get hurt, did you?
No.
You didn't want him to fall?
No.
You didn't think you needed to do anything when the deck was creaking, right?
I don't know.
I mean, you heard it creak and you did nothing, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's a family thing.
No reasonable person would expect that deck to break, would they?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No. And you didn't think that was enough activity to cause it to break?
I guess not, no.
But it broke because it was shoddy construction, right?
Perhaps.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll pass the witness.
Speculation.
Okay, so that's kind of how you do cross, and y'all did great. So either way, but you see how it goes. And I always have to fight because I get, and every attorney does, cross-examination should be your favorite thing to do because it's a lot of fun, right? Because you're asking questions and not letting the witness really explain what they want to explain. And you have to balance because, you know, you don't want the jury to look at you and say, oh, look at this attorney who's not being fair or twisting, but you don't. You just tell the story and make your point. And the 2 points you make with the witness, it's the point you made, Robbie. It's a perfect point. She's got a grudge against Nelson. So in cross-examination, what you want to do is to mitigate the effect of their testimony. So you can do that by questioning their credibility, which you did real effectively. I mean, he's a menace. You just don't like him. She cut off a 17-year friendship because of this kid. And then to the extent you can, try to question the believability. And we don't have facts in this case, but every case has different things. Some